Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about two families. Essentially, it's pretty much one, but then again, it's two. It's a little bit messy with these two. We are going to talk about the two Larson households, and we are gonna start with this one where it says Larson, and the founder is also a Larson family member, but the rest of the family living there is now called Tinker. So it's a little bit of a messy story, and I'm looking forward to tell you about them. And after them, I'm gonna tell you about the other part of the Larson family, at least this part of the Larson family. um, and it's this one. But I think we should just go into the first family. So here we have Larson family. Um, but the only reason it's called the Larson family is because it's actually Jody Larson's home. Um, she is one of the primates in Blue Water Village, and she is in a household with her brother at the time, both straight out of college. Um, she didn't live there here in the beginning, but after she finally got a good job and higher rank in the job and stuff like that, she moved here. Why I'm a little bit hesitant to call it the Larson family is because she is the only Larson that is here. None of the people here is a Larson. So I will show you the family tree. You can see here. Here we have Jody. She has, of course, her brother Jason. And then she has her son Carter Larson, and of course a grandchild, Cameron. She moved in here with her son, and at that point, she was sure that that Carter was gonna marry, because he got a kid, with Hope. At the time, Hope Thomas. Um, and Jody was sure that they were gonna marry, and that was also the plan. The thing Jody didn't know that both of these two is romance sims, and we all know that romance sims is not the best people with the whole marriage thing. um, but Jody had Carter with Gilbert Jacque. Jacque. I'm sorry for butchering that last name so badly. And he had a child, Cameron, with Hope Thomas. And the plan for them was to get married. But at their wedding day in this house, it was set up over at the corner here. Hope got cold feet and she ran away. This made Carter super angry because he, in the beginning, was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna marry," but they agreed on a marriage. Maybe was a good idea now that they had a son together. Um, at that point, Hope had been living in the house for so long that Jody was pretty good friends with her. And she had gotten a really good relationship with Hope's other daughter, Yvonne. Um, and Yvonne, at that point, was named Yvonne Thomas. So when the marriage didn't went through, Jody was really confused, and her son was really, really mad at Hope, and of course wanted to kick Hope out of the house. But the house being Jody's, Jody were like, "No, we cannot kick the mother of your child out of the house, and we cannot kick her and her then child with another man, yes, but other child out of the home. And this made Carter really, really angry, so he was the one moving out. And not just moving out, he also took Cameron with him and were like, nope, you're never gonna see your son again. I'm gonna take care of him. When he moved out, it fit pretty well with Gilbert's death. So Carter pretty much just moved in Gilbert's old home and got the whole fortune from that. So Carter doesn't he need his mom anymore is what he thinks. He kind of felt betrayed by his mom. So yeah, it's a little bit messy. That is why over here you see none of Jody's actual family. Um, because Jody chose to take Hope in instead of listening to her son. So yeah, let's look a bit closer to Jody. And here we have Jody. She is a fortune sim, as you can see, and as you know, she is living here with her, and um, not really her family, but she took them in as her family. She is retired. She was doing really, really well in her job, so for her it was fine. As you can see, she's not really friends with her son anymore because he's so mad at her. Um, and she's not really sure that she understands why. She's also really close to dying. She is living on her last days. I think maybe this day is gonna be her last day. Um, but so I think when I'm gonna get to this household, I think she might want to call her son and like have a last good conversation and maybe get some forgiveness. Because she maybe feel like she can see her mistake, but she just couldn't, with a good heart, throw Hope and her kids out of the house. Um, as you can see here, she is really sloppy. She is outgoing. She is in the middle of lazy and active, serious and playful, and grouchy and nice. So she's pretty in the middle ground with everything, I would say. Her bio is the original one, so I don't feel like it necessarily fits hers too well at the moment. Um, she never married. She only got Carter with Gilbert, and hopefully she hoped that they could get married, but Gilbert just didn't want to marry. He didn't want to see Carter either. So when Gilbert actually died, she was quite surprised that the whole fortune and the house went to Carter. She was of course happy for Carter, but she was quite surprised. Other than that, she has just have a couple of flirts here and there. But other than that, she has been a businesswoman. She has just been working and working and working. And I feel like that's maybe why she couldn't get herself to throw the family out that she thought that she just have gotten. And I feel like Hope is maybe taking a little bit of advantage of that. Um, but I guess it was Jody's last good uh, charity thing to do before she died. Yeah, she's not dead yet, but before she's gonna die. So yeah, that is Jody. So I feel like I need to start talking about Hope first, and then go to Melde afterwards. Because Hope is the reason they are here. Um, Hope is really neat, and she's really outgoing. She's quite lazy, pretty playful, and grouchy. And her bio says Hope found romance the most important. Even so much she falls in love with everyone she even thought she uh, even so much that she falls in love with everyone. She even thought she should marry her second baby dad, but oh, he ran away. He ran away. That's not true. She was the one to run away, so I guess she's lying for herself. But oh well, romance is romance, right? Luckily, Carter's mom likes Hope so much that she let her live at the house, even though Carter doesn't like her anymore. Will Hope's next fiance work out, oh, or will the kids stop popping out? And will the kids soon stop popping out, please? Um, as you can see, she has a lot of kids. She has one more other than those three here. As a romance sim, because she has been with the partners besides Siobhan when she got them, I have enrolled for her to get them up for adoption. Other than Yvonne, and Yvonne she chose to keep. Um, so she has a lot of kids. Think even more when you think about her not really being the big family person. I feel like Hope is quite self-centered and pretty much just wants whatever she wants in life. She didn't see the big problem with her not wanting to get married, though her and Carter had an agreement that that's maybe a good idea now that they got Cameron. Um, but yeah, uh, she just couldn't stand getting married, I guess. At least not at that point. Um, as you can see, she has been through a lot. Romance wise, she has been with a lot of people, and I'm sure she's gonna continue doing that. She got expelled from college because everything in her life pretty much just was about romance and doing whatever she wanted to do. Um, Surprisingly enough, she wanted a job after college, after she got expelled. Not that she's uh, really focusing on the job, but at least she has it. After she ran away from the wedding, she um, and I will see. Yeah, after she ran away from the wedding, um, she got Cameron shortly after, and that's where Carter moved out. So she doesn't really know a lot about Cameron. Like, she of course knows he exists, but she hasn't had anything to do with him. Um, and not that it bothered her too much, I feel like, because, well, kids isn't really her thing. But shortly after she met Melde and they got engaged, and quite quickly after they got married. So he moved in here, and Jodie was fine with this because she wanted Hope to be happy. Um, and Melde felt like it was a little bit weird, but he felt like it. Well, why not? It was a good house. He was living in an apartment. There's money, and Jodie is close to death. Maybe they could get the house and maybe a little bit of the money. So he was okay with it. And I also think that's one of the reason Hope is playing her game still with Jodie, to make sure that she have a secure home for herself, but also her family. Um, she got Lillian with Melde, and shortly after they got Valdemar. Um, she took the Tinker name because the Thomas last name wasn't important for her. She has siblings. I can show you. She has siblings that can take that family name with them, so she's not too bothered about it. And Malte was happy to keep his name now that his sister chose to be a Caliente instead. So yeah, that was a little bit about Hope. We will see if she's, as you can see, she still wants to kiss a lot more different Sims, and I'm sure she will. That would succeed for her. So let's see a little bit about Malte. And Malte we have here. He's a romance sim. I actually remembered it as him being a fortune, but I can see he's a popularity and a romance. I think what there is to tell about him is he is, of course, the twin brother of Mike Tinker. Those are the two twin brothers of Tinker brothers. After college, both of them moved into an apartment, and they have always been super close. The two brothers. In college, they tried to help each other a lot with girls and stuff like that, but they found out they kind of maybe like the same girls, and that made everything a little bit more what can you say, annoying. Because Malte kind of in a college he found out he was more of a romance sim. Um, so there was a little bit of drama with that. But he ended up really falling in love with Hope. And he kind of kept thinking of her, even though he had a little bit to do with others. It was Hope he went back to all the time. He had a bad memory of engaging her, but honestly, I think he is happy about it, because he wants to settle down a little bit. And even more now that they have kids, it's quite important for him to give them a loving home, because he had a loving home growing up. And it didn't hurt that he came into a rich, well, not family, but at least a rich household. Yeah. I think they would probably be in a open relationship. I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't mind each other exploring the world. I feel like Malte understands that Hope is self-centered in that sense and kind of just want to do what she want to do. But we will see if he ends up getting mad at it. Maybe. And then we have Yvonne. She is bisexual. And she's a romance sim. As you can see, she likes a lot of teens at the moment. She really wants to fall in love with Anthony Stark, though. She's already fallen in love with Brody Ramirez. I guess he wanted to go steady with her, I remember. I guess he saw her do something, and when we look in the memories, I'm hopeful we can see what is actually has happened. But as you can see, she's really neat and she's really outgoing. She's quite lazy and a little bit more playful than serious, and she's very grouchy. Um, for me, she's one of the really beautiful Sims. And I guess it's a mixture of Hope and Leon. Um, they are apparently just have good genes together. um, so I think she's gonna be a very attractive romance sim in the neighborhood when she gets older, and maybe even now it looks like. um, Even though she's only a teenager, she's already tried a lot, I feel like. Let's see. She's apparently really not good friends with Violet. Violet broke, but I guess that's what that was in the beginning of her teenage years. She firstly fell in love with Brody, and they had their first kiss, and they were out on dates and stuff like that. I feel like Siobhan wasn't really interested in the family drama. She never really got super close to Carter, I feel like, if I remember right. Nope, she never really got close to him at all. And she doesn't really know her real dad or anything. She's just kind of chilling and seeing that her mom is providing in whatever way she's providing, and she's happy about that. Um, I have the feeling, yeah, she went on a date with Claire, and I guess that's when it went wrong. Oh no, I see. Okay, so she apparently went on a date, and I say apparently because I thought it would be just ACR, but dating is something I have been over, so I was actually at fault with this one. But she was on a date with Anthony, um, and I guess Brody caught her being on that date, and that made him furious with her. Not that she minded. Of course, she was a little bit sad of losing him as a best friend, but oh well, she had a good date anyways. um, so yeah, I feel like she's maybe a little bit naive, or else either she's naive or she is as cunning as her mother. We will see how she's gonna deal with life in her later, when she gets to be an adult. If she's gonna go in her mom's footsteps or if she's gonna be doing something else. I think that's gonna be interesting. And then we have Lillian. Lillian just turned a kid, so we don't know a lot about her, but we know she is neat, outgoing, in the middle of active and lazy. She's playful and she's pretty grouchy. She is the child of Hope and Melde. And yeah, she's just have her toddler memories, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she haven't met too much family, as you can see. She's just been in this household. Jody have looked after her a lot, but not enough for their friendship to be that important. But she has a future for in front of her, I guess, and we will see what happens. And lastly, but not least, if he can come out, he is a little bit stuck, I think. Crawl here, please. Thank you. Um, this is Valdemar. I know I should download the camera mod so I could get closer, but I don't know how to do it. I have looked at it a couple of times, but I guess now I really need to look into it so I can get closer. Um, let's see. Maybe I can do this and get closer, maybe? Yeah. Okay, nice. That's not a good face though. Toddlers. Looks like they do, I guess. Oh. Well, that was Valdemar. Okay. Nope. I'm just gonna do this and say nope. That's not gonna happen. Alrighty. So, Valdemar is the youngest child of Hope and Melde. As you can see, he doesn't know anyone. He just turned up to a toddler, so we know nothing about him. He's neat, outgoing, a little bit more active, very serious, and he is nice. So we will see where he is at later on. At least right now there isn't a big story about him. Hopefully he's gonna be a good kid. And this is the house, so you can see how it looks. I stopped a disaster from happening. That is ACR for you, I guess. But yeah, that's the quote unquote Larson family. There's not much else to tell about them. Of course, I will tell a little bit more about Jodie's son when we get to him. Um, I think that's all for this household, so I think we should go to the next one. So going from one Larson's family to another. Here we have the household where Carter moved over. It's originally the house where Gilbert and his mom Denise lived. Um, when Denise died, Gilbert shortly after sold the bakery because he couldn't keep up with both being romance and the bakery. Um, he only got Carson. No, not Carson. Carter. He's his only son. So Carter is an only child, and he is now living here after he got betrayed by his own mother. And as you can see, he is living here with Cameron. So here we have Carter. As you can see, he is very sloppy. He is more outgoing. He's in the middle of lazy and active. He is playful and in the middle of now nice and grouchy. Um, his bio says Carter never thought he would lose his mom to his ex. After the wedding flopped, Carter was sure Hope will move out, but no, his own mother said she could stay. Lucky. Um, Luckily, Carter's unknown dad died and left everything for Carter, and who knew he was rich. So no thanks, Hope. No thanks, Mom. Carter can do this on his own. Um, yeah. So as I told you in the last household, Carter left his mom and his ex-wife, ex-fiance, because his ex-fiance left him at the altar. I was quite surprised that he even wanted to get married as a romance sim, but he did, and I was like, well, if you want to get married, I'm gonna let you. Um, but Hope was nope. She didn't want to get married anyways, even though I'm pretty sure she had the want to, but that's Sims again. Carter has had like both ups and downs in his life. From the beginning, it was quite good. He never knew his grandmother. He never knew his dad. So for him, life was just him, his mother, and his uncle, and he really, really liked his uncle for many, many years. His uncle was that father figure he didn't have because his dad wasn't around. Quite early, he fell in love with Hope. Hope was his first real love, but then he found Skylar, and shortly after falling in love and being a little bit together, he accidentally said yes to going steady. He wasn't sure that that was actually what he wanted to do, but he really liked Skylar, so he was like, if I'm saying no here, I'm gonna lose her, so I'm just gonna say yes. Um, that was a bad idea though. As you can see, he had still had something with Hope at the time. This is the teen years. Apparently, he and Hope had a bad prom experience. um. Oh, why is that a thing? Interesting. Okay. It's always interesting to see how things are actually looking in the memories when you haven't looked at them for a long time. But as you can see, he went out with Eleni Bartelet. I actually didn't know she was a teen. Oh yeah, she were because she was in I took her to college with a bunch of my teen townies at some point, but at this point she was a teen. And as you can see, he had a lot with Hope to do with Hope at that point. Actually, he went off on many dates with her and stuff like that. And I guess it's what in one of these dates he got caught by Skylar. Um, and Skylar, of course, got mad at him. And they broke up. He doesn't really seem to have the memory of that. Oh yeah, he does. I don't think he was sad of them breaking up because he wanted to be steady with Skylar, but I think he was sad about it because he knew he had lost Skylar for good. Because he knew the story she had. He knew that her dad wasn't around because she was from cheating. But uh, yeah, he didn't know what to do about it when this happened. He just needed to accept it and let things happen as they do, right? Shortly after, he went to college. I guess it was in his college round we had Lainey going to college too, because it seems like they had some fun together. He also had a little a flirt with Valdi, but as we all know, Valdi chose to be with Andrew instead, which I feel like is a good idea, looking at the person Carter is. After college, he was still going strong as a fortune sim. It seems like many of my fortune sims doesn't re-roll to change their aspirations even in college for one reason or another. After college, he moved it back home. Um, he kept seeing Lainey a little bit, but I feel like quickly after he met up with Hope again, and they engaged. And um, for some reason, why did he get mad at her before? I feel like this isn't right. I don't remember this one, but sometimes you get these lost best friend randomly, and then they pop up shortly after, or they're just best friends again for some reason. Because as you can see, they were on a good date and they had a good time and things were going good. But they found out that Hope was pregnant, and that was kind of the reason Carter thought it was a good idea to get married. Um, because in his mind, he kind of wanted to give his children both parents because he didn't have it. But Hope, as we all know, ran away, which was quite sad. I don't think necessarily Carter was sad about it. I think he was just angry because this was the deal they made. Because they were about to have a kid, and then she just ran away. And again, he was sure that she was gonna be kicked out. But as soon Cameron was born, Jodie could not get herself to kick them out. So Carter took Cameron and moved. Luckily, in at the same time, his unknown dad Gilbert died, and he left everything for him. So the whole house and a good bunch of money that he has used a lot of, but it was a good bunch. And now he's just living his life again, pretty much. He is living here, taking good care of his kid. Well, good and good. He at least grew up well and learned to use the potty. And he's still a romance still doing the romance thing. And in the end, he chose not to be friends with his mother anymore. He just was too mad about her letting Hope stay. I don't think he knows or think about that she's close to death. So I hope he will take her call when she calls for him. to say goodbye. But looking at this, I'm not sure. At least he still has his uncle for a little bit. So yeah, we will see where Carter ends up. I feel like he has a lot of more romance to do. As long he looks after his son, I think it's gonna be okay. And here we have Cameron. Oh, hello. Cameron is such a sweet kid. I feel like he is just again a happy-go-lucky kid. He isn't really taking everything too harsh. He doesn't even think too much about what happened, and missing his mom is, well, not the worst for him. He only remembers her in a fond way, but now she's just not there, and his dad is pretty good to him. So why he doesn't see like the bad thing in it? Maybe a little bit naive. But he is really neat. He's outgoing. He's in the middle of lazy and active, and he's playful and really grouchy. I guess the grouchy is from his mom. But yeah, he's soon to be a teenager. He has a couple of friends. I thought he actually had one more, but he is friends with Gia. And I'm just gonna check, maybe he fell out of friendship. Oh yeah, he had a friendship with Quint. Hopefully he's gonna be... I think I'm gonna work on that so he can be more friends with Quint. I think they would be a good best friend. Or maybe even more, depending on what sexuality they roll. But yeah, that is Cameron. This is the house they're living in. As you can see, this was one of my better days, decoration wise. I had a little bit more things to work with, and I feel like it's pretty good. So that was all for this video. I'm pretty sure this is one of the more long ones, but I hope you still enjoyed it and had some fun with the messy story in this one. And I will just see you in the next video. Bye!